So, being surrounded of people like you, Max, I remember when you and I were in a coaching calls, in accountability calls, you get the vibe, man. You get contagious. Like people help you out to become a better version of yourself without even telling you anything. You're just learning from what the people are just saying out loud and thinking out loud and sharing their experiences. And that was why, I think education and becoming surrounded with good people is key of any success in any business.
Yeah, the mastermind model, I'm always a little bit hesitant in regards to, what you're going to get out of it. However, what I will comment is regarding a lot of these masterminds that are out there is you are in a network of people that are investing in their businesses.
Mm-hmm.
You're not meeting random people, at a networking event and the cost to get into the door was free. You go to a mastermind where someone paid a big ticket price to be there. You're hanging out with people who are saying, "Hey, look, I take my business seriously and I want to pay to be included in another body of people who take their businesses seriously."
That's it.
And, and that's, yeah. So that's the big thing about it. And, and for me, when I look back at, because I did not want to flip houses, I was connected to that group to do, multifamily business, but I got to say the networking that I got out of it, I now know Marco, and I've been really glad I have for multiple years now. And, and a lot of other guys that I talk to with frequency. And I've been, whenever I look back on the price for some of those things, I'm always like, yeah, no, it's totally worth it.
100%. I thought masterminds were like corny, until I finally joined one. And now I wish I had been doing them from like the first business I ever started. I wish I should have joined one then. I wouldn't be where I am today. I probably would have been successful with that first business, but like nonetheless, it's they're invaluable, especially if you join the right one, if you're selective.
Yeah, absolutely. Marco, with this podcast, we're creating a network in general of dads who are real estate investors and real estate professionals in general. Mm-hmm. So, the plan is definitely, we've got a camping trip, dads and kids camping trip, scheduled for this spring. If you want to come, nice. We'd love to have you. But an opportunity to leave the wife at home and have both, a business trip, because it's going to be real estate professionals, real estate, people who are, investors and are doing different stuff, and bring their kids. So we're going to go camping, and we're looking forward to that first trip. And
Where's that happening?
Sedona.
That was going to be Sedona.
In spring.
Sedona. Oh.
Bring your daughters, Marco. Come on out.
When is spring? I'm sorry. What date?
February, March.
Yeah, it's gonna be in March. We haven't sent out a full.
Okay.
You'll get correspondence on it when we actually are
nice.
Putting it out. But those opportunities, we want to make sure we're creating an opportunity for guys to have some fantastic opportunities to build great memories with their kids, and also make some great contacts within the real estate space. And when we look at it in a go forward sense, because it's not really a mastermind, but we do go, hey, we want the people who are connected with us to take trips with their kids, so that our kids get to be friends with other entrepreneurs' kids, so that in 5, 10, 20 years, when our kids are at an age where they're doing business, they've already got 15, 20 years of relationships with other business professionals, individuals, both the parents and the kids. And that's something that we want to, really work on building towards, starting now, going forward. So, the contacts, your net worth is your network. Yeah, I love that.
Your network is it's the other way. Your network is your net worth.
Your net worth is your net worth.
There we go.
Yeah, I love it, man. Yeah, I mean, send me dates. I love to see if I can join.
No, absolutely. But let's keep going here. So you have a 6-year-old and 8-year-old, both girls. What's some wisdom you can give some of the listeners who are here? What's something that's, you go, hey, look, this is what I think, guys who've got those 2 kids, and what's some of your experiences?
So I would apply kind of the same concept of the flipping, that I see more quality than quantity. So I rather spend, a good 15, 20, 30 minutes, playing, being present with my youngest or my oldest daughter, than just being there for 2 hours, being present, but, thinking of something else. So I think it's for us entrepreneurs, one of my biggest challenges, the typical, phrase of life balance, right? So if it's how do you balance life with work and things to that nature, and more importantly, when you love what you do. So for me, when I come to my office, when I make the calls, when I do business, when I develop, I'm not working, right? I'm just living my life while I'm creating, and my business is just, hopefully continue growing while I'm having fun somehow. Of course, we face problems and things to that nature, but it's pretty hard, at least for me, to actually put a clock on my time because I became a little bit selfish because I was not being myself for so many years when I arrived here and I have to employ myself and just not doing what I love to do. Now I do what I love to do. So when I go home, it's like, okay, hold on, one more thing. So one more little detail. So I need to remind myself every time that the most important thing for me is at home. It's out there, not in here. But sometimes I lose my mind, creating wise and just enjoying what I'm doing that I forget sometimes that I need to be present. So in that my mind running again and again and again, I just put a commitment to myself that time quality is more important just to leave my office at 5 and arrive at home at 5:15 and then just being on my phone at home. I rather, finish what I'm doing here, but when I am home, I'm there, I'm present, I'm with them, I'm sharing with my daughters. And that's a pretty challenging thing, at least for me.
It's challenging for me too. As soon as you started saying it, I was like, yeah, because sometimes if my son, usually we watch TV kind of before bed for him. We'll have usually pretty big. He'll have some outings during the day. Whenever I finish my day, I'll take him to the park generally. For anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour if I can. It gets a little darker earlier now, but I'll have to make sure I don't check my phone. And sometimes I still have text messages coming in. Sometimes I've still got guys who are messaging me. They want a quick answer on something, so I'll very quickly take my phone out to do something. And I go, no, Max, you're not supposed to do this. Yeah. And it's worse if we are doing something where maybe he's watching Paw Patrol or something on TV, and maybe let's say, Dad, come sit with me, but I don't want to watch Paw Patrol. I'd rather look at a device or something like that because I'm interested in what he's watching.
I'm with you. I feel way less guilty in that situation.
I feel less guilty, but it doesn't mean I want to do it. You're right that I feel less guilty, but I also am like, how do I make sure I'm still engaging with him with his show, which, is, and I don't really have any secret answer to this. I'll ask him which characters are his favorite characters, and sometimes I've just gone, what? We're just turning the show off. Let's go wrestle. And, and then we'll go, we have some games. He loves to be chased around the house. He loves wrestling. He has this, we have this inflatable pool float of a dinosaur, and he's really enjoyed having me chase him around with that. So sometimes when it's, I'll call it the TV time that has been maybe regular, but not something I want to encourage as much as we've been doing, I'll have to make an active step to go, no, we don't need TV. We don't need to have this. I don't need my device. He doesn't need the TV. And I'll try to make an active effort to kind of turn those things off to do something that's more, directly engaging. So,
you ever go into do not disturb mode?
No. I mean, well, when it's that time and I'm just surfing, social media or, whatever I'm doing or whatever YouTube videos that I'm watching or that kind of stuff, the do not disturb won't really help with that, right? I mean,
no. But if you put the phone down, it should turn off everything. I'll turn my volume all the way down and go into do not disturb. And if I'm like working on something that I need to get done and I just can't be distracted, I'll do it then. But then I'll also do it in the evenings. Like 5:30 hits, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start making dinner for the family. I'll put in that then, and like I'll just forget about it because it makes no noise. Next thing, I've gone 3 hours, I haven't looked at my phone.
I'll either try to leave my phone in the other room, or I'll actually use my my app blocker. I use a freedom.io, I think, and that's an app blocker where you can put in what apps you want to have blocked. For you put in the time. Hey, I don't want these particular apps available on my phone, and that way it'll actually shut them off. And you have to go put a passcode in, and it makes it an extra step process. So But
so you can turn off your emails, for example.
For me, it's any social medias. That, you could end up burning some time through, because it's super easy to, in the course of an 8-hour day, to look at your phone for, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. And over the course of 8 hours, you've wasted somewhere between, 40 minutes up to 80 minutes, looking at a device, wasting that much time. It's easier to just turn it off, not have any incremental time that gets wasted towards scrolling. That's what I try to do. So I try not to look at it at all. And,
The do not disturb feature, I'm going to start using it.
Oh yeah.
Somebody told me about it a month ago, but I honestly, I never used it. But now, Trevor, that you're mentioning it again, I think it's time.
Do it. What's really cool about it, one last thing on Do Not Disturb that I just recently discovered, is when I have it on, I still want my wife to be able to call me. And like if I'm working, for example, and I don't want to be, I'm working on something in particular, like, that's the one person in my life that I'll just drop whatever I'm doing to help. And so there's actually a setting on your phone where you can do that. Like I have her set up. She's the only person that can break through my Do Not Disturb.
Wow. Nice.
So, FYI.
That's good.
Love it.
The other thing on social media that I find is an active effort is that if I don't look at social media, I won't be further interested in looking at social media more. And what I mean by that is it's super easy right now to see some headlines, politics really bad right now. You see some news story about, Kamala or Trump or something like that. And then, once you implant that in, within the next couple of days, you're still kind of invested in whatever that story was, whatever that little thing that happened. So you want to look at more news. And I find that if I really put my phone away and I look at any social media for multiple days, I don't have as much interest in even picking up my phone anymore, because I actually forget about what the stuff is.